Right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to week 56 of the off season. We obviously weighed in at 105.3 kilos. I just had to go back and check what I weighed in at on Friday. Today is Monday. I just finished leg day, hence the hobbling walk, but on the screen you'll be seeing firstly some bits from arms. When I say some bits, that would be a set of preacher curls and also a little pump shot as well. And then after that you'll be seeing on the screen my leg day annihilation clips, a little bit of my, there we go. So the hack squat, 6.5 plates, we took 7 reps. Good baseline. I think my best is 7, so I think it's unmatched. You know, that means next week we get 8 and make sure to make it an all-time best. The pendulum squat, we got 7 plates again, and I got a good 8+1 there. Got saved on that final rep, that's for sure. I was going to rebuild, but just in the moment, had my training partner back. She said 7 plates. I said yes sir, on it goes, and we hit 7 plates. So no putting 6.5 on there, just straight out to the 7. Felt comfortable under the weight after a week off, which feels good feeling better, more like myself again as well after the slight illness post Christmas. And then also some pump shots to follow. But yeah, very good session. Certainly feeling it now, that's for sure. My legs in a bad way, but in a good way, so hopefully the DOMs won't be too bad all the way up until next week's leg day. Probably look at something around a small drop off this week now that the water's starting to drop from being back and feeling better. Obviously when you get ill, your body holds on to the weight and the inflammation to help fight the illness, so that'll just drop off naturally in time. So the 106, big jump from the post-Christmas weight, probably settled down in the 105s, hopefully won't break into the 104s, and actually some of that weight was actual real weight, but we'll see. Catch you tomorrow for Delta Day. Right, I never thought I'd be saying this today, but the sun is shining. It's been through every kind of weather at the moment. Hopefully you can kind of see me, the glare isn't too bad, but on the screen you'll be seeing a couple of pump shots from delts. It was a good session. Strength was a little bit down today, but take it as a reset. I think it's just a bit of compounded fatigue from the back end of the illness. Big push from legs yesterday. Nice rest day tomorrow, and then calm Thursday, Friday, smash out back and chest respectively. Again, rest on the Saturday, get back in there for Sunday arms and be fresh for then. Hopefully fresh for the Thursday with this last rest tomorrow. But like I said, it's been snowing, raining, windy, cloudy, and now sunny. Going through the whole spectrum of weather forecast today. Just gonna get these steps in now, get back, eat my post-workout meal, so you have the cereal post-workout, then get back for the post-workout meal. Rice cooker's on, race the rice cooker, nice 12-minute or so walk around my usual block, and then get on to some work ahead of tomorrow's non-training day. So I'll probably catch you on Thursday for back. Right, so it is still persisting, this spot. On the screen you'll be seeing a couple of clips from back day. I just got off the call with the MC Tank team, group call. Overcoming obstacles is important in January. We're going to face new tasks in the year. Want to get off to the best start possible. How can we navigate things that may want to stop you from having the best start possible? How to get around that and make sure you stay on track and make progress. But yeah, interesting call. Good to talk about these sort of things, because it's very easy to feel like any minor inconvenience to your routine is the biggest thing in the world, especially for someone like myself. Everything is very regimented and monotonous, so any small change feels like a big change because it's not used to having and very rarely does. Just showing and imparting sort of things like what I used to deal with it, how Brad deals with it, and the ways that you can navigate life, because life gets in the way, that it tends to do that. But onto the back session. Back up to 80 kilos with the new technique of trying to pull lower down the back. Trying not to use my more dominant traps, ROMs, to pull the weight. That's why I'm standing a little bit higher up at the peak contraction. So I'll still like stay in my hinge to get a nice stretch. And then as I go, I might elevate myself a little bit just to really drive down a bit more. And that's the reason being, I had to reset to make that adjustment so that I didn't fall into habit just for the sake of progressive overload and we're putting more weight on the bar and taking the extra rep. Then we've got a set of the seated cable row, move to single arm. You can see I'm really trying to wrap my lat around the spine. You can see I'm not twisting through my hip, but at the peak contraction, I'm turning through with my lat. A little bit of hip twist towards the final rep or two there, but that's something that you nail down, take the progression, nail the form, take next progression in load and reps as we move along. But I enjoy that, and more unilateral movements, so single arm movements, I found it being a lot more beneficial to really get in that lower bit of my lat. I know it's a very hot topic to talk about, developing the lower lat when you've got no back, but for someone like myself, I am predominantly upper back dominant. It's the case to many people when they do start to grow a back, then you realise you do need to start focusing on that point, whereas some people start focusing on that point before they even have the back to begin with. So I'm just trying to build that V-taper out now, hence why more single arm movements, because I can really connect down into that lower lat, whereas bilateral dual arm movements, I do fall, like I said with T-bar, I do fall into an old habit do let my more predominant upper back take the movement, which is why these small tweaks to the back training have been super helpful. And then a set of deadlifts, which I'm going to reset now. I do a snatch grip block pull RDL kind of style, so it's a big hybrid, and then I move to the floor to lift my load, just because I really enjoy deadlifting. That's the only reason being. It's not programmed. My program is a snatch grip RDL block pull sort of thing, but I'm going to, after this set, I was not happy with it at all. You can see why I moved to the tempo style to pull with more of my back, as I mentioned in previous vlogs, because when I get to the heavyweights, like a 240 for 3 there, which is a PR, I've never pulled it for 3, but even when trying to maintain the tempo, but you can see that my upper back doesn't take the weight as well as my erectors and quads, hips, glutes, posterior chain, which is why that slight hunch and then I finish the rep. It's like not to the point where my lumbar's rounded or there's any compromise in bad form, but in terms of using a deadlift for back training, it's not conducive or the most productive use of energy, expenditure, stimulus and fatigue to do that, if to get all technical with it. So that's why I'm going to move back to a RDL style. I will do the snatch grip on the block pull for my regular sets. I'll show you that next week now. I'm starting to get the hang of it. I didn't want to show you me doing it until I really nailed down how I want to present it, just because if you do it wrong, it's not good. Not that I did it wrong. I sent everything to Brad for feedback, know how to deadlift, but in terms of how he wants me to deadlift, it's slightly different to the conventional methodology and principles of pulling, because I am quad dominant, I'm glute dominant, and I want to use it to develop that lower back and mid back portion. So I want to get stronger at using my back to pull the weight. But that is that. Pump shots looking good. Happy with how everything's looking. Excited to see what I weigh in at tomorrow. I'll catch you for that because it is the big man's birthday today, my dad. So we're going to watch a couple of episodes of a series after I quickly go wrap up these steps. So I'm going to get my ass moving so we can actually watch those, and I will catch you tomorrow for the check-in. Right, I am a day late. As you can tell, I have been to the barber. Today's Saturday. On the screen, you'll be seeing we weighed in at 100.5 kilos this morning. So like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, a slight drop off in weight, which just things like water retention, inflammation, fatigue, all dropping off from being ill the previous week. So back to a real body weight, which is good because as you can see from the checking photos, we're still holding good condition, especially from the front. I noticed we hold more body fat in that glute area, but still got the outlines, the boxed outlines, still some striations. It's harder to pose it at this body weight, but I'm learning. They are there. It's just when I can hold them in a pose. Yeah, that means one thing. The food has gone up. We have an extra bit of food on the low days. Low days have actually been moved to once a week, which is today. So the last low day for another week now. So medium days on Wednesdays, rest day, which puts me in a nice position. Mediums through the week just to absolutely smash training, recover, grow, and let the weight stick a bit more as well. Because whereas the double low on the 2 non-training days, having a training day, non-training day diet was helping to keep me responsive to the food, sensitive to the carbs, and keep good condition. It also comes to a point now where I, instead of pushing food way too high and food volume way too high on the training days, I just bring one of them days to medium. Well, Brad brought one of them days to medium just to help the weight stick, help bring carbs and calories to the week through the day rather than pushing it through the actual meals on the training days. And then fats on my actual training days have gone up as well, in the form of nuts. So that's super nice to have. I haven't had nuts in years now. So back on those cashew nuts. I've got some peanuts as well. I'm gonna do 50-50. It's only 20 grams, so it's a pitiful amount, I'm sure, which I'll get to try tomorrow anyway. But that's for the vlog next week. I'll be showing you after the checking photos some of my movements from chest day. I gave the 70s a go. I got 2 reps after failing the first time, and by the time I got to the 65s I was knackered. I lost a rep, I got 6, and then I decided that I'd take the 60s again as a third working set. So it's basically just doing a go at 70s before my 2 working sets, and I lost a rep at 9. So down 1 rep on both working sets, but I did do 2 attempts at 70 before. On first one I struggled to get them up. It's like they're a lot thicker, obviously with the extra 5 kilo in the rubber, so they're huge in size, and the thicker handles on those myo strength ones. But I got 2 on the second go around. I can take that, reset, and we go again next week. And then some pump shots, very good. I'm happy with the pump. Obviously a little bit tighter now, so the pump shots showed that in the physique. Still holding good fullness, but let's push up the weight. Hope you did enjoy the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, click the notification bell so you don't miss me upload, and I'll catch you in next week's.